X's and O's with Minnesota Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer is underway off a thrilling victory over the LA Chargers and into the border battle. Border battle take number one, Minnesota Vikings and Green Bay Packers, Sunday noon, KFAN and the Vikings radio network at US Bank Stadium. And the head coach joins us now. Before we commence with, these hard-hitting questions I have and everything, any chance Deion Sanders calls during X's and O's like he did during the press conference on Monday?
No, I actually talked to him this morning. He's doing better.
Not my business why he's in the hospital, but is he okay?
He's getting better. It was touch and go there for a while. But he's a tough guy.
So when he calls you, he's calling Uncle Zim. I mean, I'm in the hospital. It's like you got those two grandkids, but you kind of got like 2.5.
He said he actually said today that something was bad if I didn't call you in 3 weeks. So.
Yeah, that was a first when he called you unprompted. That was fantastic. Now, coming back from SoFi Stadium and a victory over the LA Chargers, not every team gets to witness when on the road what you guys witnessed with these fans, and it happened again, even from 3 and 5. Like Jacksonville, if they go on the road, there might be a smattering of applause. But these fans at SoFi, they were awesome, weren't they?
Yeah, they were very loud. When their offense was on the field, you could hear them. When something good happened for us, it was very loud in that stadium. It was really nice.
Zim, did you notice how hot it was down there pregame? Maybe it was during the game. I went up to the Vox box, but it was unbelievably hot. Did you guys talk about it like maybe it's a problem?
Well, we did talk about it before we went out there, that they didn't have any air conditioning in the stadium.
Ooh.
And because they have those doors that open up, but they don't air condition the stadium, so it was really hot.
Well, I mean, seriously, it's Southern California. I mean, do you pump so much money into SoFi that you just can't afford just think of US Bank Stadium without heat.
Yeah, that's about the same.
Jeez. Did Kirk play one of the finest games he's played since you've had him in 2018?
I think he did some really good things. He made a great throw to Conklin in the back of the end zone under duress on 4th and 1. He made a terrific throw on a pressure that he was getting ready to get hit on a slant route. I believe it was to Adam on a 3rd and 6 or 9 or something. He had an overload. And then he made some great throws on 3rd and long. The couple throws of Jefferson down the sideline,
yep.
and JJ made some great catches. And then, I think the 3rd and 20, when we hit Adam for 18 yards to get it to 4th and 2, I thought that was a great throw and great catch.
Right, and I'm not a great route mind, but I think it's a dig route, and it was center of the field to Jefferson, and there, like Kenneth Murray, there were 3 guys right there. And pocket presence stepped up, bam, and hit Jefferson on a massive play with 3 guys around him.
Yeah, it was a great throw on that one too. But they gave us some opportunities to get some of those inside breaks on some of the longer yardage situations, and he was able to find the spot. And timing on that route is really important.
Now, with Kirk and pockets collapsing and stepping up in the pocket, it just, in my opinion, continues to get better, and it was fantastic at SoFi.
Yeah, and they gave him, some 2-man coverages, doubling JJ, doubling Adam, and when he saw that, he was able to manipulate the pocket and find guys open.
Does he get pats on the back for that from you, or just business as usual?
Well, he'll get some pats on the back, but we got to go back and play a good Packers defense this week.
Did he shove you outside of the locker room because he was so excited?
No, he didn't shove me at all.
But when you get shoved and we win, that's a good thing. So just go ahead and get shoved like the rest of the games this year, right?
It's fine with me.
X's and O's courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery with Minnesota Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer. What when it comes to game planning, I mean, respectfully, you don't mind game planning against young quarterbacks, do you?
Well, they're all different. They're all different. Like Herbert, I really felt like he had a good understanding of where he wanted to go with the football. I thought he did a nice job of reading coverages. Some guys, when they're young, they just kind of know the play and they predetermine where they're going to go. But I thought last week, he had a good idea of what he wanted to do, and I thought our 2 safeties did a really good job of trying to disguise where we were going.
So with my untrained eye, is it fair to put it this way? You had him all messed up in the first half. Then then there was halftime. They come out at halftime, 10-75, something like that, and it changed. But then now you get right back into, well, you did that, but I can do that, and you're going to, is that fair?
Yeah, there's a little bit of back and forth there. They came out at halftime and they hit a couple balls on us that, we didn't play real well, and and I probably could have been in better coverages, but then we settled down and we felt like, hey, if we get this team to third down, we got a chance to do some damage.
And now you get Aaron Rodgers, antithetical to youthful and or a kid. I mean, he's seen everything kind of like you. Is he different than you've ever seen him? I mean, he didn't throw a touchdown pass most recently against Seattle, and he tints his hair. So I mean, like when you see him and stuff, he has tinted hair. It's long. And he didn't throw a touchdown in his most recent game.
Yeah, well, I hope it stays that way. No, he's terrific. It's just watching tape on him, unfortunately, a minute ago, and he's got such a quick release. He's very, very intelligent about where he wants to go with the football. He handles so many things at the line of scrimmage, trying to fool him here and there, or give him a different coverage, and then take care of Cobb and Devontae Adams. It's a real chess game.
And I mean, you talk about chess game. I mean, that first game last year with no fans, and you're out there with a couple of rookie corners and no fans to mess him up on third down. I mean, that was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they did a good job of scheming against us in that ball game, and we were able to overcome it the second game.
And Aaron is unvaccinated, so will you hug him after the game? He likes to hug you after games.
Yeah, if I see him, I'll probably hug him.
I remember how negative you were that one game. They jump up on you 3 touchdowns in like 10 minutes. You come storming back, you're going to win the game, but then you don't. And then Zim, and Rodgers runs over to you, puts his arm around you and says, you are so bleeping good at what you do. And you're like, you're pretty good too. Remember that moment?
Yeah, it was a little different conversation, but it was a lot like that, yeah.
Yeah, well, at least you didn't get shoved. Mike Zimmer, X's and O's on the KFA and Minnesota Vikings radio network. On the Bynum blitz sack, did the Chargers have one too many guys go to Kendricks, who also was coming on that play? And when you send like Bynum on that play, what was the read?
Well, without getting too technical, we were trying to get the center to turn the opposite way.
Which he did.
Which he did.
Wow.
We actually tried to get him to block Nick Vigil.
Yeah.
And then once Vigil didn't come, then he went to Kendricks, and the back was responsible for Kendricks, really. And so the center ended up staying on the same side, and they left Bynum free.
Yeah, so I mean, that's like a positive notch, $1 of $8 million for you in your career. Corey Linsley's a stud. I mean, he never misses games. He's probably not as good now as he was years ago, but he's tough. And I mean, to fool people like that, that's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard. You hope that you can get the protection turned the way that you want to get it turned, and then you hope you can bring 2 guys somewhere else.
Yeah, with Harrison assumedly returning on Sunday, do you get to manipulate 3 safeties potentially, like in Cincinnati with Reggie Nelson, Chris Crocker, and George Iloka?
Man, you went back a long way.
2013. Well,
yeah.
you only beat us by 30 points that day before you came here.
Yeah, there's a possibility we could do that. Yeah. I think Cam's done a nice job, and I think Harrison has some unique skills that we can try to incorporate.
Off that game, and then when I met you in 2014, remember how obsessed I was with Vincent Ray from Duke?
I do.
I'm like, there are no good football players ever from Duke, and I think he had 14 tackles in that game. Holy cow.
I think the quarterback from the Giants is from Duke, isn't he?
Oh, Daniel Jones, yeah.
He's
but
good.
See, this is back in 2014 when Duke football was not yet fresh.
Right.
Okay, and Daniel Jones made it fresh. Okay, in deep stretch. Time for 4 more with Mike Zimmer. Overall, how did Cameron Bynum play in those 2 starts?
I thought he played solid in both ball games. There's a couple in the first ball game. He had a. It's hard when you find out on Sunday that you're going to play and you're going to play a different position.
Yeah.
So he had a couple in that game, but he was much better this last week as far as his assignments. We talked to him a lot last week about you got to make sure when you're doing this, you're showing this and going forward, and I thought he did a nice job all the way around.
My untrained eye in watching back the Chargers game thinks James Lynch is giving you some good minutes in the trenches. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. He's done a nice job, especially in the run game. He made, I don't know, 4 tackles maybe, and from numbers to numbers.
Yeah. Now with Green Bay, anything tricky with their tight ends with no Robert Tonyan?
Yeah, they've got this tight end screen that they run quite a bit. They'll do a lot of chipping on third down with those guys, and then they're gonna try to isolate them on these linebackers on Kendricks and really. They're trying to open up some areas for Cobb or Devontae Adams.
With their defense, Mike, down Jair Alexander and Zadarius Smith at least, how are they doing so well defensively? Some of these numbers are unbelievable.
Yeah, they're doing really well. Kenny Clark is obviously a terrific player, and then the outside rushers cause a lot of problems with the pass rush. But the 2 corners are doing a nice job without Alexander there. They got the guy from Georgia,
Eric Stokes,
who's a big, tall, fast corner that does a great job. And then Adrian Amos is a down in the box safety played for the Bears for a long time. And Savage, he's typically the back guy. So they do a great job disguising the coverages. And they'll probably have Stokes on JJ, I would guess. And then they'll try to pressure with the front 4 and the inside linebackers.
Lastly, A.J. Dillon, not the catching threat Aaron Jones is, but he's massive and he runs hard. Does much change with the approach if Jones doesn't play and it's like the big beef eater, the power guy, A.J. Dillon?
Yeah, I think we're going to get a few more power runs, but he does a nice job catching the ball on screens. They're a very good screen team. Probably not as many scats out of the backfield as with Aaron, where he's out there running routes.
Right. I like when you guys win a lot. You smile more. Dion calls. You don't yell at me. You don't yell at Hagan. It's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mike Zimmer, head coach of the Minnesota.
Let's win again then.
Yeah, well, let's just keep smiling and keep yelling at Hagan.
Sounds good.
That'd be sweet. This is X's and O's with Minnesota Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer, and I'm Paul Allen. More around the corner on the KFAN Minnesota Vikings Radio Network.